What up, familia? It's your favorite Puerto Rican Brooklyn Philly here, back with another video. I don't know. It's just I'm feeling compelled to just record and upload, and I'm hearing is, sometimes a message. You think that you're supposed to do things like other people, or read like other people, or flow like other people, and you're not. You're supposed to be you. You know. I literally, and I'll just be vulnerable and I'll share this and be transparent. Is I'm thinking, well, should I title it? Should it be a pick a card? Should it? And then I'm hearing, no. You know what you do. You just go on there and you flow with the messages. You can't try to be something that you're not, or try to be like somebody else, because then it's not going to be you. And definitely, that's not what spirit wants, right? And the best way to reach the audience and to allow yourself to be the conduit that you're supposed to be is to be yourself, right? So, yeah, that's what I'm hearing. Just be yourself, right? I don't know. I just saw a bumblebee, and the yellow just, and now I'm hearing Oshun. If you know, you know. She's saying, be yourself, right? There's so much beauty when you revel in your authenticity. I just heard, right? There's no one like you. Can't hit the folks like me, get Molly up like me, and do the, I don't know. That's what I'm hearing now. That song, right? Even like with dances, yes, right. The dance may be a generic like dance for everybody to do, but no one is going to do it the way you do. Your fingerprints are like no other, right? There's something about that. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Spirit. That's what I'm gonna say, right? I want to be me, right? And I get it. I'm hearing. So now it's a lot of channeling. I thought I was gonna get to these cards, but it's a lot of channeling right now. It's saying like, I get it. It is difficult, right? Particularly when you've been raised in a culture, or even in some of us in familial structures that make us feel horrible for being who we are, that want us to be everything else but who we are, right? That tell you, oh, to be you, but then when you are you, you're not accepted, right? If you don't fall into specific structures or stereotypes, right? So then you spend your life trying to fit a square into a round peg hole, right? Confirmation. And wonder why we walk around like with some toxic stuff and disembodied and not in happy places and spaces and with people that align with us, is because we're not being authentically us. So if you're not being authentically you, sorry, I feel like my lips look a little too shiny because I'm shiny. I'm seeing the shiny crab now from Moana. Right, yeah, that then you become something like that, right? Or you become super obsessed with that, because at the end of it all, at the root of it all, I don't know, that song won't leave me. And the point of it all is I love you. Yeah, that's what I heard your inner self is saying. The point of it all is I love you. You, authentic you, right? And that's who I want to love. That's who I want to be seen. That's who I want to be heard. That's who I want to be understood. The real me, right? And when I put myself in predicaments, places, and spaces under false pretenses, I'm hearing, then I become angry and bitter and resentful because I'm not being accepted for me, because I'm not really truly being me anyway. So it's frustrating for the other person, it's frustrating for yourself. It's just a whole bunch of buffoonery, right, that comes out of such failure to, and the point of it all is I love you. An Instagram notification came through when I said that. Right? It's just really truly embracing that and knowing, yeah, that was the channel message, right? To just be yourself, right? That's Genie from Aladdin, right? When he was trying to tell him, but Genie, I need to be this prince. I need to be this. You don't understand. No, be yourself. If she loves you, if she really gonna rock with you, if he loves you, if he gonna rock with you, if that job really gonna appreciate you, that friend, that cousin, that homie, whoever, it'll only be if you are being yourself. Your false self can only hold that. It's kind of like I'm hearing like a bottle, a ball trying to be held underwater, right? You're struggling to hold that underwater. That water is pushing it back up. The pressure from that water is only but a matter of time before it bubbles back out the water. Like, I don't know why they having me use that, but yeah, just wanna to come on here and see what messages and 3 cards. I'm going to take all 3 of them. I heard. I wanted to pull from this oracle deck first to kind of give like a theme, a sense of where spirit want us take us with this message. I want to thank divinity. I want to thank my spirit guides and my ancestors for protecting me, protecting this message, protecting every viewer, filling us and infusing us with love and light and protection. Yes, amen, amen, and ashe. So the first card to come out is great within grace within the chaos. Interesting. I don't know, because I heard chaos, right? But then I don't know, this is because you know, when you hear chaos, it sounds so much horrible than what this card is depicting. I'm hearing, I don't know, this card seems filled with beauty and radiance. It's like I'm hearing a beautiful kind of chaos, right? I'm hearing the irony of it, right? The contradiction, right? And then, yeah, I can see where they kind of made the distinction, right? Two opposites here. Yeah, and that's what I'm getting, this sense of like duality, this sense of, you know, that in itself, right? Grace, chaos, they seem like polar opposites, right? Like they don't belong in the same year. One of these things just don't belong here. One of these things just ain't the same, right? What I was talking about earlier, like trying to fit this square peg, this square thing into a round peg hole or whatever, like a round hole. Like, okay. So there was something there with the blaring of that horn. Yeah. I don't know. Let's see, but it says accepting life's complexities, right? Because it is more complex than that, right? We think it's, you know, so black and white, and then sometimes we hold it to such, you know, not understanding, you know, it's a rainbow. I just heard taste the rainbow, right? I don't know where that's coming from, but yeah, it's so much more complex than that, right? I don't know. These look like shiny diamonds up at the top here, right? I don't know. I'm getting flamboyance. I'm getting carnival, right? I'm getting New Orleans. I'm getting Brazil. I don't know where that accent, and I'm Spanish, so I don't know what that was about, but whatever. Um, yeah, it's something about. I'm hearing that Celia Cruz. So I always want to say Celia Cruz, like again with the accent. Hello, I am Spanish. I know how to say Celia Cruz. Where is that coming from? I don't know. Maybe that's somebody's ancestor coming through, or you know what I mean. But yeah, it gives me that fun, flamboyant carnival. Uh, you know, what's that kind of pole dancing? It's very big, particularly in some LGBTQ. Um, I do apologize from the bottom of my heart. I am very much aware, but for some reason, if anybody remembers or, you know, put it in the comments below. But yes, very beautiful that way, like on point, like on fleek, like period. Like, I don't know, how can chaos be? And now I'm hearing, you know, the Genesis, in the book of Genesis, the Bible, where it says, you know, the Lord or God spoke, right, to that chaos, that darkness, and from that created life, right? Again, those horns blaring. What's up with that? The next one is, sorry, I got this upside down. All the time in the world. Interesting. Finding grace within chaos and acknowledging that you have all the time in the world. I don't know. Is keen this eye, all seeing eye. First I thought of evil eye protection, then I'm seeing now the all seeing eye. Now I'm hearing Chronos. Having enough time, time management. Right? Don't that seem like opposites? Like on one hand, girl, please, you have enough time, and then the other sense is, no, manage your time. Don't act like you have all the time in the world, right? So again, it's something about these polarities, these complexities, the seduction of distraction, accepting life's complexities, and then the seduction of distraction. So again, these two opposites, right? One, right, the complexity can cause these distractions. So it's on one hand understanding that there is a seduction to such distractions, but then understanding that these distractions, yeah, are these complexities, right? I don't know. It's like I'm hearing two sides of a coin on each one. Again, we want to talk about this dual nature again, and then again, this rejection of it's either black or white. It's so much more gray, and I dare not say gray. Gray is bleh to me. No, not to say that I have anything against gray, but this taste of gray. I'm hearing again. I don't know why I keep hearing that. And then a way out of the weeds, right? And the message there is a clear way out, multitasking, getting organized. Interesting. So grace within the chaos, all the time in the world, and way out of the weeds, right? And we'll go into directly into the message. I'm just pausing because, well, one, I want to also bring attention to all of this green, and I'm thinking of like the heart space, right? So now I'm hearing these are things or beliefs or core systems that are have been ingrained in the mind, but that stem in the heart or through the heart or via the heart. And I don't know, for some of you, you may feel like you've run out of time, or there isn't time enough in the day to kind of get organized and do a lot of the things that you need to do. But they're saying no, that there is time, and you have to just learn how to do the time management thing, right? And it takes getting organized, and it takes learning how to multitask, maybe even, right? Right? And yeah, thank you, Spirit. You're so good. We started off with grace in the chaos, right? So maybe for some of you, thank you, Spirit. I hear you. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Mama. That maybe some of you are now feeling overwhelmed currently, or have been feeling overwhelmed. Maybe you're looking around your home and thinking, how do I begin to declutter? Maybe you're thinking about your own life. How do I begin to organize some things? Maybe you are looking at your job. Maybe there's projects due or reports due or things that you need to accomplish. Maybe, you know, even with kids, if you have kids, family, whatever. But there is something about maybe a situation, an environment looking chaotic. And maybe, since we were talking about authenticity, the chaos arose out of maybe being inauthentic. And that's not a dig. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen. Not that you intentionally try to be inauthentic with, I'm hearing first and foremost, yourself or with anyone. One, the conditioning, past experiences and environment, the encouragement, and the determinant of being authentic. Again, I'm hearing, so like take an example, if you're an introvert. Most of the time, introverts are frowned upon. They want you to be sociable and charismatic and things of that, most environments. So, that's just an example. I was going to go a little deeper. They say, no, don't leave it. Like, people, y'all get it. But so it's not that you were intentionally trying to be inauthentic, but sometimes the places and spaces in the world, and depending on the family or the community you live in, pushes you to I'm hearing even as deep for survival purposes to kind of respond in that way. Confirmation. I'm even hearing now for, like, let's say, Sherwin Williams. I don't know if that's a trick, it's just whatever. But in like a relationship, maybe out of fear of abandonment or rejection, I'm hearing for somebody, you maybe saw a red flag, or there's some kind of boundary that did want to uphold for yourself that was authentic to you, but you kind of let it slide because you thought the person wouldn't understand, or sometimes it ain't even that deep in terms of trauma. Sometimes is you're a person that don't want conflict, or doesn't do well with conflict, or doesn't know how to handle conflict and communicate through that well. So there could be an array of reasons why you were either inauthentic, or didn't feel comfortable being authentically yourself in a certain safe space. Interesting. Didn't feel safe enough in a specific space to be authentically you. So it's no dig towards anybody, but and as a result, bottom line is that has created chaos, whether it's at the job you work at, and your familial structure, your current relationship, or maybe the relationship is over, the job is over, or whatever, and that's what it was. So now here you are feeling like you've in this chaos, and you're trying to find now, how do I get grace in this chaos, right? And what I'm hearing, the spirit guides, your ancestors, divinity, whoever you call upon, saying there is this thing called grace even within what seems to be the chaos, right? Yeah, it begins with accepting, right, that life is complex, right? Life in and of itself, outside of you too, right? In and of itself. And it also begins with understanding that there is this seduction to distraction, right? It's purposeful. You see it in commercials, you see it in social media. I mean, people are scrolling, right? It's so again, it's not to take the onus off of you, because we don't want to justify. There is a sense of accountability, but it's also to, in order to address any issue or any problem, right, or any vibration I'm hearing, we have to understand the context, right, to be and get to the root. So we understand that it's two-pronged that I'm hearing, right? That is one, a part of it is my responsibility, my own sense of accountability, what I need to do in the situation, but then also understanding the environment that I am maybe in, or the societal ramifications and impacts upon it, right? Like everything plays life's complexities plays a role in it, right? And that while in that chaos at times, we tend to think that there isn't enough time in a day, or where do I even find the time of day to kind of make sense of this chaos and organize myself. But it's also acknowledging that, yeah, although there may be other responsibilities, and yes, it may be difficult for some of us, especially if we're raising families, or we taking care of loved ones, or whatever our responsibilities may be or entail. Some of us have, complex work schedules, different hours. Not everybody has off the weekends. Not everybody does a 9 to 5. So in the midst of all of that, right? Yes, we still need to find that, but that there's also this accountability of our own sense of time management, and how do we kind of do that, right? Balance this thing out where we learn that, and I'm going to be honest, once again, I'm going to be transparent, where I wasn't taught time management skills. I didn't even know that was a concept of something to kind of learn, or to adhere to, or kind of really think about till I got to college, to be quite honest, well, high school and college, right? When I began to hear more of that terminology, or it phrased that way. And not that I never had an understanding of it, but that it was phrased in that language, like time management skills. And there's billions of books out here, and people, coaches, life coaches and stuff, that teach these things to people, right? So that, again, that there's this, I don't know, that all seeing eye, this sense of my accountability for the time management, but also understanding life's complexities and everything that I may have to juggle. So that is like a infusion of both. Interesting. I'm 20 minutes in, and it's just on these. It's just been on channeling, and these oracle cards, but then a way out of the weeds, right? Again, when we're in that chaos, right? When you're in chaos, kind of like it's hard. It might be smoke and mirrors I'm hearing, or loud noises, or darkness, or whatever it may, or too much brightness. Like it's something that distracts you and keeps you not being able to really focus, and maybe your nervous system is dysregulated. Like it's an array of things that occur with that. And see, that's deep, because a lot of people say, oh, just you don't have any time management skills, you're lazy, or you don't know. This stuff is real, and it can cause real anxiety. It can cause like I said, dysregulation in the nervous system, where you can kind of use be prone to procrastination based on fear. Like a lot of stuff is real, for real, out here for people that can kind of like spiral you different ways. So it's kind of, I just got chills when I said that. So it's kind of like learning, part of learning the grace within chaos is saying, if I become anxious about this, if I understand this is one of my triggers, then how can I begin to address that? If I know my stinking thinking tends to lead me down an emotional rabbit hole that leads me to some type of anxiety and possibly even depression, that leads me into like deeper chaos, then what do I do to prevent what, again, there's this onus of responsibility to myself, right, for myself to heal. So if I know that those thoughts can lead me, then so when I think that thought, how can I combat it? One of my big things is now when I hear a negative statement, me being critical of myself in my mind, I'll stop myself, and I'm getting quicker, and I'm stopping it even faster than ever before, because it's like, we're not doing that. Why are we talking to ourselves like that? We know that's a lie. Let's play that out. You know what I mean? And I'll do false statement and truth statement, some say that's part of CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. I do. I appreciate that therapy. But again, it's just this self-accountability. And weeds, right? When you see all these weeds, even though I just heard weeds get a bad rap. But anyway, that's another story. But they're fogging, they can cloud, they can not cloud, obscure your vision, right? How far or how clearly you can see things. But it's saying there's a way out, right? And a clear way out, multitasking and getting organized. So for those of you who are struggling with that, they're saying one of the ways is to learn how to multitask and to learn how to organize, right? And again, it's not a jab, and it's something. Some people say, I don't know how, but there's YouTube videos, there's hundreds of books, there's maybe ask a friend, a lover, a family member. Listen, you seem to be organized when it comes down to your clothes. How did you do it? Like my cousin said, she just moved, and her therapist or something said that for her to organize her things a specific way. And I'm like, well, how did she tell you to do that? And she shared that with me, and I'm like, wow, those are great ideas. Those are great pointers. I didn't know. So your willingness to learn, and it's very intentional. I love that about these cards. Every time I use these cards, I feel like spirit, it's kind of like the Bible or the Quran to me, where it's not just spitting information at you, but it's kind of giving you very practical application skills, because it's telling you how to find grace within the chaos. It's saying one of the rules there, the practical uses of how to do that there is acceptance, right? Even if it's saying that serenity prayer, right? God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, right? It's acknowledging that there are real distractions, and then what do I do when those distractions occur? How do I respond to those distractions? It's telling me to be time conscious, right? Not to the point where I'm anxious and think I have no time in the world and time is over for me, but also to acknowledge that there is time. I can make time. How do I organize time, right? And how do I begin to learn time management in ways that are productive for myself and my future and my family and those I love around me, right? And then that there is a way out of the weeds, this obscurity or this thing that kind of blinds you, that it does take some organization, it does take some multitasking skills, right? But that these things can be learned, right? He can be taught, right? Genie from Aladdin, right? So I love that. I love that the cards don't just seem to throw the dictum I just heard or the information at you, but then also provides actual practical application to them, right? I love that. I don't know, that's maybe the title, Grace Within Chaos, for this whole video. It's a beautiful thing. Now I was instructed also to then use the She Tarot. Yeah, it's called that, the She Tarot, right? I don't know, very feminine perspective or name to kind of see. And I had already shuffled these. It's just I want to do it on screen so people, I know some people feel comfortable with that. What other messages want to come out? Can you say more, Spirit, please, and thank you? I just heard the attitude of gratitude, right? Again, this is a very, I'm hearing hands-on, practical application type of reading today. This is, I'm not just going to preach at you, spit a whole bunch of cliches at you, tell you what you should be doing, but then not showing you the praxis, right? The application, the how-to steps, right? It's like I'm hearing a DIY, do it yourself project. It's not theory, but praxis as well, right? So it's not just you sitting in classroom getting all these theoretical examples, but I'm also going to give you the step-by-step guide. Interesting. And so, and on top of all those other practical skills that have been suggested, they're merely suggestions, right? And also, don't beat yourself up, I'm hearing, right? Take it one step at a time. And for some of us, 1 second at a time, 1 minute at a time, whatever you need to do, right? Because if taking it even 1 day at a time, I heard for some of you, made that in and of itself may feel overwhelming. So maybe we have to break it down. Now I'm hearing the 12-week year, right? That's another book. Maybe some people want to read that or have read that. But it's kind of like, not that you have to go specifically to that book or that model, but there's something about breaking down the chunks or what seems to be overwhelming into more condensed, I heard, into more chewable bite sizes, right? You have this big cake and you try to stuff it all in your mouth, it's going to make you sick. It's impossible. But if you cut smaller pieces, you can go at it one by one, right? So in this example, it's telling you, now I'm hearing, it's like she just arose out of bed. And, you know, I just heard rise and shine, right? And I'm hearing one of the very one of the very first, I wanted to say. And it may be few because, again, I'm hearing Spirit's grace is so abundant. We try to make it like it has to be all these rules and regulations, or it has to be. So, no, it's just these few things, right? But nevertheless, it's gratitude, right? If you could incorporate an attitude of gratitude into your daily life, preferably, and I don't know, I wanted to say morning, first thing, rise and shine in the morning, but this very much looks like a full moon and at night, right? So I'm just saying morning, noon, and night, right? If you can just remember and get into an attitude of gratitude, a space, you know, I'm hearing like brushing your teeth or like breathing where you don't even, you know, think about it. You, it's automatic, right? The more you practice, kind of like when I was saying, when I think about my thinking, when I start to like get critical of myself, I'm responding to it faster. Same thing with that. The more you practice, right? So gratitude journaling, gratitude practices, being incorporated into your life is going to be very helpful. Not taking all of these, but I'll take the first facing one, which is transitioning. Oh, look at this. So this is the infinity symbol, you know, and again, right, going back to life's complexities and life be life, and right, and that's just it. It is all this inevitable, ongoing life, death, and rebirth cycle, right? Death and rebirth cycle, death and rebirth cycle, right? It's from transition to transition. And even with that, that's what I mean, into like these smaller bite, you transition from transition to, like, try to So there's this consciousness of being grateful, right? Of incorporating into your life, your daily lifestyle, like the breath you breathe, this sense of gratitude, and understanding that you're constantly transitioning, that there's this inevitable constant ebb and flow of death and rebirth. And it doesn't mean literal death and rebirth. Nehemiah, not Nehemiah, interesting, Nehemiah built the wall. Nicodemus, but there's something maybe in the book of Nehemiah. Interesting, Nehemiah saw the pain and that the wall wasn't rebuilt and cared enough to go back and build it. But anyway, in the transitions, part of the transitioning, although not literal death and not literal rebirth, there is a sense of us as we grow, as we mature, as we gain more information, as we begin to to incorporate grace in this chaos by learning these skills, by being more accepting, by understanding, time management and multitasking and gratitude. And, this is helping us evolve and transition from, level to level. I don't know. I hope that's making sense. I hear it in my head. I'm kind of having a hard time. Interesting. That came out pretty quickly. It's interesting because this is what I heard when I just said it's rest, right? So maybe because it got complicated, because I made it complicated, and that's what they were saying, right? Few things, gratitude will help you with these transitions that are inevitable. They're happening always, right? Almost effortlessly, without real impactful effort on your part. They're going to happen. There's something there. And now here in between transitions, right? Be grateful and also learn how to rest, right? The importance of resting, right? Of kicking your feet up, of sitting back and doing nothing. And I know, again, it goes back to those polarities or those contradictions, right? How can I be productive in doing and by resting, right? It don't seem to equate, it don't seem to match, but there is something there about that, right? That it's like work hard, play hard, right? There is this benefit to resting, to incorporating rest. So it's telling you, right? Because you're constantly going through these transitions, it behooves you, I'm hearing, to incorporate gratitude and rest during these transitions, or specifically during specific transitions, right? And for some of you, I'm hearing you're definitely in this transitionary stage and phase of your life, and this is what you're being admonished. Again, just a suggestion. It would behoove you to incorporate such things. Oh, and they're saying that's it. That's what they want from this deck. At the bottom of the deck, harmony. This is so beautiful. Look at that. And see, I'm hearing on two planes, as above, so below, as within, so without, right? On both levels, there seem to be two sides of one coin. There seem to be polar opposites and contradictory at times, right? There's this unity, this oneness, this ebb and flow. Oh, God, it's so beautiful. UNITY and dolphins, right? God, I just got chills all through my crown chakra, just flushed up. Like, yeah. Right? You want this thing called harmony. That is one of the best ways to incorporate these simple things like gratitude and rest into your daily repertoire, I'm hearing. Right? To achieve this level of harmony, harmoniousness. Is that a word? I don't know. I'm going to now pull from tarot, shuffle these cards. This message is beautiful thus far. We're 34 minutes in. There I go, being conscious of time. But yeah, no, okay, not to say, oh, I gotta hurry up. But no, be mindful. It's been 34 minutes, right? Again, learning to how to incorporate both. And my little puppy, BK, is definitely learning how to do rest. And you can see how he's stretched out right now with seemingly no care in the world, right? Thank you, Spirit. Let's cut this 3 ways. These cards are huge for my little hands. So please bear with me. Again, all pre-shuffled. I just like to kind of shuffle them. Again, thank you, Spirit, so far for this beautiful, beautiful message. And what would you like us to? Oh my God, this card keeps coming out. Knight of Blades, right? The Knight of Blades, right? That's the Knight of Swords in the regular Rider-Waite Smith, but he's fast moving energy, right? Impulsive, I'm hearing. And this one right here, it got diarrhea of the mouth, right? Talking, I just heard, you talk too much, homeboy, you never shut up, right? She seems flustered and disgusted over it. These people aren't even paying attention to him. They're back, and the only one that's paying attention to him is him. The dog is even looking at him like, So I don't know. Some form of communication. Yeah, some type of impulsivity. Let's see, one card. Oh no, two came out. So we have this Knight of Coins. Very opposite, and both knights, right? Very opposite energies. Let's talk about it for a minute here. So here we have this one that's very impulsive, very talkative, diarrhea at the mouth, running his mouth to the point where it's like sickening. It's almost like what he's saying out his mouth is vulgar or just repulsive, right? Like, don't know, no censorship, right? No couth, I'm hearing, right? And this one is very quiet, very detail oriented, very methodical, you know, even to the point that even some may be laughing at him. Others are having fun, right? One on the skateboard, and he's like, okay, you know, you may be playing now, and I may seem like I'm working hard here, but I have a plan. I'm taking my time, you know, right? To detail a car, this is not just a car where it's just detailing it. It takes, you know, time. And when I see cats, I think of intuition. So this person intuitively knows the value of taking their time, of doing something. The Hermit is also another card that flew out here. Talk to me, Spirit. Give me a second, y'all. So there's another dog here, loyalty. There's also a cat, intuition. The fairy here is also intuitively. There's an owl outside the window looking in. This person is reading from this text, acquiring some type of like knowledge. So we have two different types of knights here. One that's impulsive and runs at the mouth. The other one that is quiet and reserved. And so maybe for some of you, you are currently in this hermit mode. And you have to you're reflecting and trying to make a decision between two different people, two very different types of energies. There is something I can get on the telephone and call you up, baby. Sexual healing is on. I don't know. I just think this person looks so sad. And the light is being shown on the cat, right? So it's almost like this person is looking to this book, but the light is being placed on the cat, which would for me signify the intuition. And then the owl, which would be representative of wisdom, is outside of the window, not inside. Hence why I think this person, while in this solitude hermit mode stage, is not very happy. It's like you're looking in books or outside of yourself, but you're being instructed to listen to your intuition, to allow this wisdom and even this full moon energy, right? Yeah, like you're going to a book. Someone is depending on this. Maybe being more methodical, more logical, and not allowing their intuition to really illuminate and provide the wisdom. And maybe they don't even think of like things of like the full moon cycles and things like that. Maybe they see it as woo-woo-y, like, you know, or spiritual things not being really significant, which is kind of interesting for me to say that with from the hermit card, because right, the hermit is the one that usually is holding the lantern, ancient knowledge and of all spiritual things, but not this one. This one doesn't give me that vibe. The next card out now is the Page of Cups. I love you. Right, earlier in the reading, I began to talk about being authentic, right? In the sense, so here we go. We have these two, right? One older in age and a very childlike innocence energy here. Oh, wow, I never noticed this other child in the background. Bunny rabbit, very Alice in Wonderland. This fairy also. But it's almost like, right? Now I'm hearing, you know how when you're a child, you have this childlike wonder, innocence, sense of imagination, purity for this world. But it's like the world beats it out of you, right? Trying to learn, trying to fit in, right? I talked about trying to fit in into a square hole, and, you know, and again, remember, didn't I even give those examples that if you're like outgoing and charismatic, that you're supposedly fitting in, but if you're an introvert into yourself and want to take your time and be more detailed oriented, you're kind of laughed at. Yeah, there's something going on here, right? And there's this contradiction, right? So if you're in this stage, you might be seen as naive and too foolish and gullible. But if you're in this methodical, logical, you may be miserable, right? So there may be people out here struggling with that, trying to balance that out, trying to truly figure those things out. And again, I'm hearing, you know, these are knights, and then this is a page energy, which is interesting because this is a hermit. So this would be like a major arcana, right? Tradition, no, not hierophant or tradition, but hermit. Since it's a major arcana, I felt like it might be, but no. Yeah, in this sense, this hermit is no bueno. It's like, or the way they're hermiting. Not that there's anything against hermiting, right? Is that a word? But the way they're doing it, or how they're utilizing that ability to hermit, to be in isolation, to self-reflect, right? Like it's in a ruminating, not very good place and space. Before I get to this one, you know, there's something about going back, right, to this childlike wonder and age, right? Maybe painting, maybe drawing. You know, I'm being reminded of how this past weekend I was with my grandbabies, and they were like, "You draw really well, Wella. Can you help us out?" And I can't. It's to them I can, because they're 5 and 6. So, and we drew these like rainbows and little stick figures and characters and little houses, and how they were so appreciative and so impressed, right? And so happy to do their own little drawings with me. Look at this dragonfly here. This fairy is just ecstatic. And again, is this sense of I love you, right? In the beginning, and the point of it all is I love you. I think it was this reading. I hope I'm not mixing them, but there was this sense of, yeah, I love you. I love your true you, your authentic you, your artsy self. I don't know, I hate that word, but I dislike it rather, but yeah, and that's who I want to allow out again, because we're miserable. I don't know, I just heard adulting. And it's not about not adulting, but adulting in a way that is not authentic to you, right? Whether it's being at a job that you're not happy with, in a situation ship that you're not happy with, that doesn't allow. Now I'm thinking of this reality show I was watching there. I think Love is Blind or something like that, where, oh, a car that flipped over, where one of the gentlemen that got with the female that he had picked, one of the things his sister noticed and that he noticed was that he didn't feel authentically himself. He felt like he couldn't be him. She thought he was too, I don't know, I was gonna say childish, but it wasn't that, like too much of a jokester, things. But that was his personality. That's who he was, right? But here we have the 10 of coins. Given everything that is said, coins being, usually that's my legacy card, and that's been the theme back to back in every one of my messages, that is so much bigger. It is about creating a legacy that you're satisfied with, that you're fulfilled with, right? Here go grandpa, he's standing around his grandbabies. Here go the parents, they're happy. Look at the beautiful family picture back here, right? There goes the dog being loyal. 2 dogs at that, right? It's Christmas time. And there's something about when you're able to stand in that authenticity and manage your time and multitask and create grace and chaos. This is the type of lifestyle and environment and that you can create yourself, where it feels like Christmas, right? And you're Santa, right? I don't know, home and hearth and warmth and family and love and community, stability, security, everybody's smiling. Right? And every generation is represented here. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like that's it. I think that's it. I would like to pull just to see if we can get a little more. If they would want to. I mean, even though the 10 of coins is a happy card, we want that card, right? Again, we're talking about stability, security, for generations to come, generational wealth, legacy. Yeah. Yeah, that there's something to that. Why I keep saying it like that? I don't know. It feels like I'm missing something. But it's almost like saying, if from this sense of authenticity, from this sense of understanding of the importance of gratitude and rest, and understanding that these are the transitions. I just heard the days of our lives or something like that, like a telenovela, and incorporating things like multitasking and time management and understanding these life's complexities and all this other stuff. Look what comes out. The King of Pentacles clarifies the 10 of Coins. Yeah, that you're building, right? That is inevitable. That how can you not build this level of stability, this level of comfort, but not just externally, right? Because here there's not a lot of, in either of these pictures, it's not like these are mansions or, you don't see like luxurious cars or anything. Both seem to be like in front of a fireplace with just understanding that they have this sense of security, stability, and loyalty in a warm home that's filled with love and laughter, and that there's the beauty in that, and that beauty is attained through being authentic, right? Because when you're authentic, then you're surrounded by, I just got goosebumps, those who love you and those who you love, those um, that's the beauty, that's real abundance, right? The fact that you are loved for being who you are, like, Pop Pop is loved for being Pop Pop. Right? I mean, Pop Pop could be Santa too, right, to most little kids, but you know what I mean. It's like, yeah. And also I'm hearing it gives you these two things, right? This sense of love and fulfillment. I mean, he's now by himself with his dog and with his family, right? Cause Pop come to visit, give the presents, give the coins and anything, but then Pop go home maybe by himself, Um, and in both scenarios, Pop cool, family cool. Like that's the value of being authentically who you are. I'm hearing whether I'm a based or bound. Go ahead, Paul. It's all good. Whether I'm with someone or by myself, right? And it's very different. I'm hearing they want me to contrast this to this hermit here. This person is by themselves, but they seem miserable, and this person is by themselves. They seem gloriously happy. Very interesting and very contrasting reads, right? Know all the gossip, know all, all in the business, telling all the tea, you know, and still not happy. I'm hearing it's a facade. You got to keep up within this kind of, and look, it's not even really appreciated and definitely not even wanted. And he's too, and again, this is not a dig at a person that's in this space right now, but so self-involved in it or so controlled or indoctrinated by that type of, that doesn't even realize that it's not even wanted, cared about, not even by the co-workers behind him, but even by the client he has in his chair. Yeah, I think that's it, guys. I want to close out this reading with like some messages, some last oracle cards, see what spirit want us to walk away with. I don't know. Maybe there's something you need to walk away from, right? Maybe that attitude, right? That you think that you have to be something else, that you have to be inauthentic, right? Maybe we're walking away from that and embracing ourselves, right? I love you, right? Where'd she go? Right? Loving yourself, right? Just being who you are, right? And with kids can just be themselves. There's so much more accepting and less critical and judgmental. I mean, of course, to a certain age, but I'm just saying when they're in that, little girl stage age or little boy stage age. Oh, this really wants to show itself. Winning. Okay. Sooner or later, luck comes to everyone. Don't spend everything at once, right? And that's what I'm hearing. When you're authentically yourself, everybody wins. Look, everybody in this picture is happy, right? I don't know. Maybe that's the title. The irony of grace and chaos. I just want to hold these right. being a win-win for everybody involved, right? It's beautiful, right? And at the bottom, wisdom. Sorry, guys, wisdom. Insight into the nature of physical objects gives you foresight. Use your best judgment. And it's really then I'm hearing reiterating back to this winning card, right? Don't spend everything at once, use wisdom. There is this windfall I'm hearing for some of you. And right, and then the fact to use wisdom, right? Again, in this hermit card, like I said, you might have been using knowledge or, reading it from a book, but it's very, knowledge and wisdom are two different things. But the owl was outside. The intuition was outside. The light was being put on it and was not being used, right? So use wisdom. There's a wisdom in that. Did the car flip over? I'm sorry. Just check. It felt like it did. Okay. Anything else, Spirit? Any last one? Yeah. Public face. Follow your heart. Become who you want to be. Earn a reputation. It's okay to be yourself. Now, y'all saw this. I can't make this shit up. Y'all saw this with your own eyes. What is this? Guardian angel. Oh my God. Be yourself. And you know what I heard when I heard public face? I was thinking about this movie. I caught parts of it for the first time. I didn't watch the ending, called Rango. It's a kid movie. But one of the things that he realized when he stepped into this town and into this bar, he said, I can be whoever I want to be right now. Now, is a whole different perspective given about that in the movie. But yeah, be yourself, right? Authenticity is everything. You are everything. There is no one else out here like you. The world needs you. We need you. Your family needs you. But we need you to show up in the beautiful you and only you. You and only you, long as I live, long as I live, my first love. Yeah, and I'm hearing that's you singing it to you. Not about another, about you. That thing just came out. And I know I don't know how to sing. I'm so sorry, y'all. But that thing just bellowed out like I just was like, whoa. That thing came from the guttermost, the innermost of my spirit. And I'm hearing last but not least, guardian angel. Some higher power protects you from difficulties and misfortune. Oh, God, I want to cry. Trust your guardian angel. Okay, on that note, I just got real emotional because it goes back to that grace and chaos. I know what it might look like. I know the chaos may seem overwhelming, but you are protected. Be yourself, for you are and will win. I want to thank your guys, my ancestors, divinity, for such a beautiful, beautiful message. Once again, giving us all the hope and courage that we need, right, to continue to push forward yet another day. Baby, there's nobody else out here like you. Don't you ever forget that. You hear me? And on that note, I love you dearly from the bottom of my heart. Remember, this thing called energy is reciprocal. I'm pouring into you. The least you can do is reciprocate that energy by hitting that like button. If you like the way that I read, subscribe. And if you think this message can help somebody else, because baby, we all can use the help. You know what I mean? It's bigger than us. Send it to someone that you think may benefit from this message. I love you, and until next time, Ashe, Amen, and Amen.